Okay, let's get this to stop bouncing. All right, we're going to talk about materials and materiality. The assignment that I've given you is to come up with 10 or 15 different materials, just things that you have around you. We're kind of working in a time of scarcity at the moment. So what I want you to do is collect paper, fabric, soda cans, whatever you can, anything that's around you. Just think of everything that you throw away in a different light. So, these are all things that could potentially be, art materials. And in a time of scarcity, artists have to come up with improvised ways to continue to create. And if you're a painter and you don't have access to canvas, or you can't get to an art store, or you're on a deserted island, and you need something to keep your mind occupied, you use whatever's around you. And so I've come up with just some random things. We're in my studio right now, and I just started hunting around. You're gonna see this kind of thing going forward. There are artists out there that use the old pods for making coffee. These are Nespresso pods, and I cut these apart, emptied them out, and I just squished them to see what kind of shapes and textures I could get with the tin material that the pods are made from. You could do all kinds of things with this. There's one artist in particular that I'm thinking about off the top of my head that uses these pods quite a lot in her work. These little guys here are, it's kind of hard to see on my green sweater, but these started out as parachute cord. So just like string kind of parachute cord. Again, sorry for my dogs. But I cut these apart and just kind of frayed them open, and they become these little sort of floral, designs that, I really didn't have much to do with them other than to just kind of fluff them up. This was just some fabric that I have. This is actually included in your kits. I just cut a little piece off and, damn dogs. Cut a piece off and just bunched it together and bound it with wire. And it just makes a really nice, beautiful pattern. Old gloves, my rubber gloves. I had a pile of these things. I bound them together and they make sort of an interesting, almost like a pom-pom. So I'm thinking about materiality and, what can I do to make an old disposable rubber glove more interesting, pulling them together. And, if I had a whole bunch of these, this could, almost make a big ball. Who knows what you'd do with it after that. This was made from one of our classmates here, Jeep. Was in my 3D design class. And one of the projects that we do in that class is we work strictly with masking tape. So she made this, she left it behind and I kept it, but it's a beautiful little rendering of, I don't know, a daisy or a flower, all made from masking tape. So Jeep, thank you for giving me a head start on this project and allowing me to use you, even though you didn't agree to it, as an example of what can be done with just masking tape. So play around with masking tape because I've included that in your kit as well. What else? Soda cans. Really interesting, beautiful colors on the aluminum. I took a soda can and just with a pair of scissors, I was able to cut open, and be careful if you do this because it is metal after all, and it can be sharp, but you can puncture the can quite easily, and you can cut this out, and you do it carefully, you have interesting material to work with. Even the lid, the bottom of the can, I was able to salvage, and realistically I use these for other things. You can put paint in here. You can put water if you're doing watercolor. There's all kinds of things. You've got a nice little dish to collect little bits of material, and you can keep them in there. But really interesting colors. The inside is pretty interesting as well. Kind of a uniform silver color. So think about, everything that's around you, and look at everything in a new way. And so for the assignment, obviously we're going to do 10 to maybe 15 more if you want to, material studies, and just play around with the materials. It might be as simple as just squishing the material to see what kind of texture you get. You can manipulate things even further. This is obviously, a more fully realized design from one material. So have fun with this, play with it, and then we will be kind of combining these things together to come up with more complex designs. So enjoy, have fun.